Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the City of Lowell Zoning Board of Appeals public hearing for May 30th. Just a reminder, the meeting's being held in the City Council chambers, but you can also join the meeting via Zoom and virtually as well, and by calling in through the phone as well. Just a few housekeeping matters. If you're here to speak on behalf of petition or here on an item, when your item or your hearing is called, please come to the lectern and just state your name and address the board. And also just a reminder, if you have a cell phone or electronic device, to please turn it off or put it on silent so it doesn't disrupt the meeting. All right, going into continued business is none. Under new business, we have ZBA-2024-16, a petition of variance. The applicant is Samuel Borba, property located at 85 Seneca Street. The applicant has applied to the Zoning Board of Appeals seeking a variance approval to create a parking area at 85 Seneca Street. The subject property is located in the traditional two-family TTF zoning district and requires variance approval per section 6.1.10 for relief from the maximum curb cut requirement and minimum driveway setback requirements and any other relief required in the Lowell zoning ordinance. Is anyone here for 85 Seneca Street?
They usually show up online. Is anybody on Zoom yet?
No one is on Zoom right now.
All right, we'll table that for a little bit if my colleagues don't mind. Going on to the next item on the agenda, ZBA-2024-17, a petition is a variance. The applicant is Christopher T. Natali at 43 Fletcher Street. The applicant has applied to the Zoning Board of Appeals seeking a variance approval to demolish the existing building and construct a mixed-use building comprised of 20 residential units and 3,442 square feet of commercial space. The subject property is located in the urban mixed-use UMU zoning district and the multifamily overlay mid-rise MFOM overlay district. The proposal requires variance approval per section 9.8.4 of the Lowell zoning ordinance for relief from the minimum lot area per dwelling unit requirements and for any other relief required in the Lowell zoning ordinance. Good evening, Councilor.
Good evening. Attorney George Theodoro representing the petitioner, 491 Dutton Street, Lowell. This, a little bit of procedural history on this that goes back to 2021 when we applied for site plan review for the approval of the 20 residential units and the 2 commercial units. At the same time, we applied with the planning board for a special permit for use and a special permit to reduce the parking by 50%. Through that hearing, everything was allowed, and we did extend the special permits. However, we did not extend the variances. Variances were obtained just after that hearing for parking and for floor area ratio. Again, we went through both of those public hearings and completely vetted the site with comments from DPD that are incorporated into the planning board decision and then incorporated into the zoning board decision thereafter. We're here back to for approval for a variance with respect to in the October of 2023, the ordinance was amended to allow for the MFOM overlay district, and the zoning was changed. So as a result of that zoning ordinance change, the only variance that is required to obtain for this same project, the exact same project that was before the Board of Appeals 3 years ago, is a land area per dwelling unit. The ordinance calls for 200 square feet. We have 182. And as the comments indicate from the city, the relief that we're asking for is minimal, it's reasonable, that the proposal states from the comments from DPD, it aligns with the goal of the MFOM overlay district. The development will improve the walkability of the neighborhood and improve the area and provide much-needed housing for the city. So we do say that with respect to the variance required, it meets the requirements for a variance considering the very small land area that we have. Some of the comments that were made were to apply some more shade trees, where landscaping were permitted. The lot that they talk about is the city-owned lot adjacent to the property. Through the Urban Renewal Department of the city, we're talking with the city to see if we can acquire that and make it part of this project. It'll improve it. The city also asked for, along with landscaping, handicap ramps around the right-of-way. Specifically, they call them iron dome detectable warning tiles, which we are amenable to do. We would like to know, I don't know if it's necessary to go through the particulars of the site plan, which we have, and we have Mr. Hammer here to do that. We're happy to do that if the board wants us to do that tonight.
I don't think that's necessary unless you want to do it, and then if people have questions or comments.
We'll take comments and questions from members of the board.
Okay. Thank you, Counselor. All right, we'll open the hearing to the public. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition of this project? In opposition? In opposition? All right, seeing none, that portion of the public hearing is closed. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of this petition? In favor? In favor? Seeing none. All right, the public hearing is closed. We're going to open questions and comments to the board. The chair recognizes Mr. Hovey. Mr. Hovey, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. I wasn't here when this was first approved, but looking over the site plans, I mean, obviously some things change as far as you said, that you don't need any parking issues, and then zoning changed a little bit on that. I think it's a good plan. You addressed the landscaping that we have on the comments. You did mention the city owns a lot. Is that the lot to the right of the?
Yeah, that is the lot to the right. That's a city-owned lot. Okay. And we have been in discussion in the past about acquiring that. At the time of this development, the early stages of it, the Lord Overpass was still developing, and the city didn't know if they needed to acquire a piece of that at the time. So that's why we weren't able to pursue it then, but we are able to pursue it now. If the city deems that property is surplus property, and they put it out for a request or sell it to an abutter as a yard sale, those are two of the ways that we could acquire it.
Great. I was just wondering, because on the site plan, it looks like it's owned by the MBTA, according to this. I don't know if that's changed or...
No, I thought it was owned by the city. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just reading off here. It says Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority. If it's owned by the city... okay, no problem.
Sir, if you want to just come to the lectern, you can answer questions if you like.
It's okay. It is I'm sorry, Mr. Hovey, the site plan does show that parcel is owned by the city of Lowell. We're talking about the one that is adjacent to our parcel on Fletcher Street.
Okay, so you're not talking about the abutting on Thorndike Street?
No, we're
All
not.
right,
We're
gotcha.
not.
Nope, okay, that's great. You're talking about that little jut out in front of the...
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't really... This is thorough. It looks like we've had all departments kind of weigh in on this. We got the two parking letters today, one by the management company of the parking garage and one by the city. I'm guessing the city parking garage rates and everything were correct, not
We're a little bit better, yes.
Yeah, because it said 125 for the management, but it's really 81 and change for downtown residents.
That's right.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we have two different prices. Make sure we're dealing with facts here. So the city ones, and I know it just passed weeks ago. No, I don't have many other comments. I think you guys addressed everything. It's much needed. I think it's an ideal spot, really. We're coming down from the new Thorndike. I want to call it an overpass still, but it's not. But you're coming down there and you have the Hamilton Canal. I think this is a great project, and I saw the plans up, and I think it will be a welcomed addition to the city. So I have no questions, and I'm going to support this.
Thank you, Ms. Harvey. The chair recognizes Mr. Briere. Mr. Briere, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Great-looking building. I was a strong advocate for this project right out of the box. I remain so this evening, and I'll be voting in favor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Briere. The chair recognizes Mr. Prokop. Mr. Prokop, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I also be voting in favor. I think when this project first came on board, we thought it would be a great asset to that area, and especially, with the new developments there, the courthouse, the roadways. I think it would fall right into the beautification of this area that's perfectly needed, and the design is impeccable. So I'm impressed, and I'll be voting in favor. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Prokop. The chair recognizes the vice chairman, Mr. Callahan. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Chairman. I agree with my fellow board members. I think this is a great project. I enjoy it. I was in favor of it previously, and it's not only going to be beneficial to the city, but now with the new overlay district for the MBTA, it's certainly going to be beneficial to that as well, and I will be voting in favor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Callahan. The chair recognizes Mr. Nickerson. Mr. Nickerson, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, I myself was not here when this first came about, but I know that area down there has a lot of new and thriving restaurants and businesses. Lowell 5 even moved its headquarters down to that area, so I think this is like a much needed, obviously housing is much needed in Lowell, and it's much needed in that area as well. So I'll be voting in favor as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nickerson. Yeah, like my colleagues, Attorney Theodorus, it's a great project. Again, anything I can do to support it, so I'll be in favor as well.
Thank you.
If there's no other comments by my colleagues, we'll move forward with a motion.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, regarding ZBA 2024-17 for variance for 43 Fletcher Street. Mr. Natali applied for the zoning board of appeals, seeking variance to demolish existing building, construct mixed-use building that comprised of 20 units and 3,400 square foot. 3,442 square feet of commercial space. Subject property is in a UMU and MFOM district overlay, and the proposal require variance approval under section 9.8.4.
Thank you, Mr. Prokop. Motion by Mr. Prokop, second by the Vice Chair, Mr. Callahan. Can we have a roll call, please?
Chairman Peck,
Approve?
Vice Chair Callahan,
Approve?
Member Prokop,
Approve.
Member Briere,
Approval.
Member Hovey,
Approve.
Member Nickerson.
All right, you've been approved. Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming out this evening. All right, moving on to the next item on the agenda, we have other business. We have an administrative review at 19 to 20 Academy Drive. The administrative review for the project. The applicant was granted a variance approval to convert the existing building into 12 residential units with the condition of the administrative review. The project was completed in January 2024. Is there anyone here for Academy Drive?
Anyone online?
There's not anyone on Zoom right now.
Okay. And then, all right. Did anyone get any communication from Academy Drive or Seneca Street about them wishing to continue anything?
We did not hear anything from Seneca Street. I did speak with the applicant for Academy Drive yesterday. It seemed like he was aware he should be in attendance, but maybe there was a misunderstanding. I can tell you as of right now, the stormwater work hasn't been completed, but they've been in communication with the stormwater department and know what they have to do.
Maybe want to consider, Mr. Chairman, maybe consider continuing it until the storm, do you have any idea, Dylan, when the stormwater issue may be resolved, or?
I don't know the exact date. It sounded, when I spoke with the stormwater team, it seemed like they expected the work to be done shortly. So it would be up to the board. Perhaps maybe the July meeting would make sense.
Makes sense to me.
I would agree with you, Mr. Vice Chairman. I think, it looks like they're working with the city and DPD in terms of the review and just getting all the information. And so let's table this, continue the matter, unless any other colleagues have any other comments regarding this review. Seeing none, Mr. Ricker, when's our next available opening on the agenda?
Each of the meetings has availability right now. So the next available one would be June 10th. Following would be June 24th.
All right. So let's push it out to June 10th, and if DPD can work with them just to remind them that we continue the hearing to June 10th, that'd be great. And any updates to let you know about it. And any other comments by my colleagues before we move forward with a motion to continue the matter?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Hovey, go ahead, sir.
Dylan, do we have just one spot on June 10th?
I can pull up the schedule. I'm pretty sure we have.
The only reason I'm asking is I would rather push this out a month to the 24th, and then we're going to have to deal with Seneca Street again, I'm guessing, if that's the will of the body. So I'd rather have that sooner than later, because that one's been kind of hanging out.
Yeah, I think that's fine as well, June 24th. If that's okay with my colleagues as well, I'm fine with the 24th option, as long as there's availability in the agenda, Mr. Ricker.
I'm just checking. Sorry.
Yeah, no, take your time.
Yeah, and if there's both spots available on the 10th, then the 10th. I just want to make sure we address Seneca Street sooner rather than later. It's
That
been
makes
kind
sense,
of
yes.
hanging on forever.
There are 2 spaces open on the 10th, and then 4 open on the 24th.
All right,
June 24th sounds fine to me.
all right.
Gives them a little more time. The project, clearly says the project's completed, so it's just an administrative review, so.
Yeah. All right. If there's no further comments by my colleagues, can we just have a motion to continue this administrative review to June 24th?
Okay, Mr. Chairman, regarding 19-20 Academy Drive, is administrative review to be continued on June 24th.
All right. Motion by Mr. Prokop to continue the matter.
Second.
Second by Mr.
Hovey.
Hovey. Roll call, please.
Chairman Peck,
Approve continues to June 24th.
Vice Chair Callahan,
Approve continuance of administrative review to June 24th, 2024.
Member Prokop,
Approve administrative review to June 24th.
Member Briere, Member Hovey,
Approve.
Member Nickerson.
All right. The matter has been approved and continued to June 24th. And this is the public notice, so we know the public notice regarding this petition. And, all right, going back to 85 Seneca Street. What is the wish of the board? I know that there's been some,
So Dylan, there's been no communication with the applicant at all since they filed this petition, this new petition?
They believe there hasn't been any since there was confirmation that the legal ad was posted.
Okay. I mean, I know, I went by today, I know the posting is out in front of the building, so, of the residence. So, I mean, my suggestion, I'll give, I mean, it's up, I'll listen to my other fellow board members, but maybe I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and continue this one more time, but it's been for us 3 times now,
Yeah.
so. So, but whatever anybody else wants to do, but I wouldn't be opposed to another continuance. But they got to be made sure that they show up the next time, so.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman.
So Dylan, they submitted application materials on April 2024, right? That's when I'm showing the new site plan.
Yes, then the materials they submitted were the same as the previous application, is my understanding. But yeah, yes, for this
Just redated.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do what the will of the board is. I mean, this has kind of been a sticking point, obviously, with what we approved and what they put in, and then, we've had them there, so. I don't want to be that guy, but it's kind of, patience is wearing thin on this. But I'll vote with the will of the board on this.
Thank you, Mr. Harvey. Any other comments? Mr. Prokop, do you have any comments for Seneca Street, sir?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have concerns. The fact that this has been in front of the board 3 times and the last submission of documentation has not changed from the previous times, I'm not confident of the sincerity of this applicant. Nothing has changed. Also, I noticed that the building commissioner had shared some concerns about what's already there. So I am not comfortable with that they are sincere, and the intent could be potentially deceitful, in my opinion. The fact that the initial request, they wanted development to put commercial vehicles, and they were told that they cannot. And I know in previous in previous visits, I've seen commercial vehicles there. Also in front of the garage, there was supposed to be 3 parking spaces. It looks like there is for more than 3 parking spaces. So I'm not comfortable with the intent. In my opinion, but I would go with the will of the board, is if there's a way for us to deny this application, I would be in favor of that.
Thank you, Mr. Prokop. Just for formality and procedure, let me just open up this hearing to the public. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of this petition? In favor, seeing none. That portion of the public hearing is closed. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition of this petition? Opposition, seeing none. The public hearing is closed. We'll continue comments and questions by the board. Mr. Breer, I don't know if you had any comments for Seneca Street, sir?
No, I agree with the comments expressed by my colleague George. I'm rather skeptical as to whether we're dealing with an honest broker here. I would be willing to offer this petitioner another opportunity, but in all honesty, it's because if I have to deliver bad news, I'd like to do it eye to eye. I think it's fair to say that our patience has really been challenged by this petition, and I'd let him come back. I'm not so sure he's going to be very pleased with what I have to say, but I'd like to give him the opportunity, just in case something has changed. But I would be surprised. I'm sorry to sound so negative, but that's exactly how I feel. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Beer. Mr. Nixon, do you have any comments on Seneca Street, sir?
I mean, I have to agree with my colleagues. I feel as though it's been already done, so they're not intent of changing anything. It is kind of dishonest. I've gone by a few times, and there has been commercial stuff there and stuff, so it seems that rather than ask for permission, they're going to just wait until they're extended out to asking for forgiveness, and I don't think anyone here really is, at that point. But, so yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nixon. I agree with my colleagues. I know some people want to continue the matter. Some wouldn't mind going through with a vote tonight. Obviously, I think I can go either way as well. And I would like to give this petition the applicant the benefit of the doubt as well. I just know that no formal requests or no casual request has been relayed, communicated to anybody here that they wish to, continue the matter, whether that's an official request through the city, DPD, or sometimes people ask, one of my colleagues or myself, they might not make it tonight, that, which is, I think we give people the benefit of the doubt. We're very generous, I think. Mr. Vice Chairman, you've been here a long time, so I think we try to be very flexible with people. But I think, unfortunately, just because, they didn't request for any continuance or formally, informally, I think we should just vote on the matter tonight. That's just speaking for myself, obviously.
Hey, Mr. Chairman, I just want to clarify the history of this petition, or what has been proposed in this. Dylan, and let's refresh our memory if you can. We already granted them relief, a variance relief, I think in 2023, 3, something like that. And they're back before us for additional relief. I'm trying to remember, like they didn't come for an extension. They just filed another petition, or they came for an amendment. I'm just trying to remember what how the whole history of this went by, because they've already been granted some form of relief from us. So.
Yes. So they were granted relief for an additional curb cut and parking area based on a plan that was initially submitted. I think at the meeting he indicated that it would be space for like 3 cars. The initial plan that was approved showed a very small gravel parking area. You approved it with conditions. I believe one of the conditions was a site plan would be approved. Another condition was 2 shade trees. There may have been an additional condition. I'd have to double check on the third one. None of the conditions have been met, and the parking area that was made was a gravel area that takes up nearly the entire. It's significantly larger than what was approved, and the new site plan indicates the bounds of that.
So if I could jump in, it was, I was looking at it today. It was originally applied, well, not originally, but when we got it in front of the board, it was for 2 parking spots in a regular stacked driveway. It wasn't what it is now, which is a parking lot. So we approved with site plan review and the shade trees as conditions. I think it went up to 3 because there was a boat involved, or it was recreational vehicle too, but it was a stacked driveway. It wasn't a parking lot. And the reason it came back is when there was a review, they just found that he gravelled the entire side lot. So that's why he had to reapply and ask for forgiveness, is basically what is in front of us now.
Yeah, I remember that. And then the new plans that they proposed, they wanted even further relief because they wanted a bigger lot. And I think then we told them no. And then there was some issues about them parking a vehicle on grass area in front of the house, which when I went by, I'll give it to the petitioner. When I went by the property, I've gone by several times. I'm familiar with the area. That car was gone from the grass area that was previously, the concern was, and they've actually put blocks out in that grass area to prevent somebody from parking there. So I think that's partially my reasoning of like, maybe giving them the benefit of the doubt, to give them the opportunity to, to speak about it, but yeah, the work, I share the same concerns about it with everybody else about whether or not the petitioner is dealing in good faith here, and that was brought up at the last meeting. I also, my recollection is also that the petitioner was being assisted by someone as far as translating his translations are concerned, and whether or not they're getting decent advice that, or maybe they're just not getting, they're not understanding what we've been asking of them. But I will go either way, whatever the board would like to do. If the board would like to continue it, great. If not, I'd like to just go forward and deny it, that's fine as well. But I'm just putting that out there. I'm leaning towards, I'd like to give, as Member Briere stated, give them the opportunity to be heard and listen to what they have to say. And I probably share the same sense as what Member Briere said, is it's got to be a very good, they're going to be very convincing for me to consider it. But those are my thoughts, though, Mr. Chairman.
And thank you, Mr. Vice. Ms. Prokop, go ahead, sir. The floor is yours.
Dylan, so this would be the public notice for the continuation. Would the applicants be notified that we continued it to another date?
We would notify the applicant.
You notify the applicant? Was the applicant, so the applicant was notified the last time for this meeting
Yes,
tonight, and there was no response?
correct.
Again, this is the reason why I feel this way. I mean, again, good argument about giving them the opportunity, but I feel like we've given them the opportunities, and so I wouldn't want the same thing to be repeated. We notify them of the next meeting, and then they don't show up. But for all intents and purposes, if we give this one last try, let them know that we're continuing this for June, and then if they don't show up, what do we do? So, I mean, we can go that route.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Prokop. Any other comments from my colleagues? All right. I think to your point, Mr. Vice Chairman, I agree. We always like to give people the benefit of the doubt. And again, I think, and I'm speaking for myself here, I think it's highly unprofessional to not show up to a meeting or to a hearing, a public hearing, and not notify somebody. But again, we'll give people the benefit of the doubt. I always like to operate in the kind of, giving people a little grace, a little generosity. I think, but for me, I think, I'll entertain, I'll be open to continue it one last time, and for me, that's really it. All right, if there's no other comments, we'll move forward with a motion to continue the matter to June 10th.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, regarding ZBA 2024-16 for variance on 85 Seneca Street to be continued on June 10th.
All right, motion by Mr. Prokop. Second by the Vice Chairman to continue the matter. Kimber, roll call, please.
Chairman Peck,
Approve continuance.
Vice Chair Callahan,
Approve continuance to June 10th, 2024.
Member Prokop,
Approve continuance to June 10th, 2024.
Member Briere, Member Hubby,
Approved.
Member Nickerson.
All right, the matter's been approved.
Mr. Chairman, can I have
Yeah.
one caveat to that? Dylan, I know the last few times, every time the petitioner has shown up, it's been via Zoom. I really, really would like us to emphasize that we'd like to have him here in person, if he can make it. But I understand we give him that opportunity, but the last few times we've had this been before us, I know he can bring someone to translate for him as well. But I would like to give notice to the defendant, excuse me, that's my lawyer talk.
No, I think that's great.
The petitioner. If we can give notice that the board would like him present in person for the hearing, and he can bring whoever he needs to speak for him or translate or whatever. Because I think things get lost, again, I think it's another issue of possibly things getting lost in translation or lost, and the fact that he appears by Zoom
Yeah.
may not help that. So I think it's probably better if you get him here in person. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman. All right, just for the public notice, this is a public notice. There'll be no other notice regarding this petition. All right, any other comments or questions from my colleagues?
Yeah, one other
Yes.
thing to
Yeah, Mr.
Dylan
Vice
on the
Chairman.
last petition as well. I know this is a brand-new petition, Dylan. Are there any further comments coming from the DPD on this, or, because the only thing we have are the prior petition, the prior comments from the
On
previous.
Seneca Street.
On Seneca Street, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Peter is managing this project. I think his older comments stand as the application hasn't changed. I don't think he's intending to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, even if Peter can just, this is technically a new petition,
Yep.
so even if Peter can just put some comments, updated comments to say nothing's really changed from the prior ones. Also, as far as the documents for Seneca Street, can we get all of the documents from the previous one that we approved, plus the last one and this one? So everything's in one folder, because I just want to make sure we know what we're dealing with, so, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman. All right, moving on to other business in the agenda, we have minutes for May 13th, 2024. Any comments, edits, revisions, updates to the minutes by my colleagues? Seeing none, can I have a motion to approve the minutes, please?
Okay, Mr. Chairman, sorry, for minutes for approval for May 13, 2024.
All right, motion by Mr. Prokop,
Second.
second by the Vice Chairman. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed say nay. Unanimous aye. The minutes have been approved. Any other comments by my colleagues before we move forward to adjourn? Seeing none, can I have a motion to adjourn, please?
Mr. Chairman, motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
All right, motion by Mr. Prokop to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Second by the Vice Chairman. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. All right, unanimous and ayes. We are adjourned. Thank you. Have a good night, folks.